Lovely and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. For today's preview, Springboks versus the Wallabies this weekend, 5 o'clock South African Standard Time at Loftus Versfeld. Fortress Loftus. The Wallabies looking to be the first Australian team ever to win at Loftus. And that is very much their ambition. And they've named a side which could very well do it. It's a very good Australian side that has been named by Eddie Jones. And it's a very interesting side that has been named by Jacques Nienaber. But the international season firmly does kick off for, first of all, the Southern Hemisphere sides, but also more for sort of the run into the World Cup. From here on in, there's literally not a weekend of where there isn't international rugby between now and the World Cup final. So it's just going to be absolutely mental. I'm going to be taking you through it all. So if you are new to the channel, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And before we look at the two teams, I want to know exactly what you guys think. I want your score predictions down in the comments below. So put in your score predictions whilst I go through the teams. And then we'll see on Saturday how close you guys came. So in terms of the first team we're going to look at, we'll start with the home side, which is, of course, the Springboks. And there was an injury replacement during the week. Stephen Kitsov replacing Retief Baditswe, rather known as Oxenchair, and in front row. So the front row is Stephen Kitsov, Bongi Benambi, and Fras Moherba. It's a very strong front row, but a very inexperienced lock combination behind them. Jean Klein making his second international debut. Did play for Ireland, but hasn't played there for 4 years and will now play for South Africa thanks to the new eligibility rules, which means that players can now play for the country of their birth or their parents' birth, for example. He is next to Marvin Orie, who will very much be the line-out general and will have to step up against a pretty formidable Australian lock pairing. The loose trio is Marco Mustard, who's back from injury, Peter Steph-Toy, and Dwayne Vermeulen, who will captain the side as well. A couple of criticisms about the loose trio. They're not maybe necessarily the most mobile or quick across the park, but plenty of physicality there. Kobus Reinach will get a start. He's next to Mike Liebach, who will get his first start in a Springbok jersey. The two bench, Kurt Lawrence and Kane Moody, will be looking to try and impress, especially Kurt Lawrence, who I think is pretty set on going to the World Cup. The question is, can he push for a starting lineup spot? And then Willie Leroux at full back. Just signed for the Bulls, actually, so it's an all Bulls back three. And Willie Leroux Bulls announcing that they have signed him on Tuesday. In the centers, Andre Esterhuizen, the bruising, battering agent of chaos, Andre Esterhuizen, in that inside center position. He will have Lekanya outside him. He does return to the Springbok fold after missing a lot of last year's season through injury. Off the bench, it is Joseph Dweber, Thomas Toy, Vincent Koch. It is a 6-2 split. So Arke Stammen, Evan Lewis, Dion Ferree, all in the forwards. And then the two backline players, Grant Williams, Damien Willems, potentially the fastest two scrum halves ever to be in a 23. And then Damien Willems, what form he was in last year. And hopefully he can just kick on from that. But they have their work cut out for them. This is the Australian side that it was named by Eddie Jones. And it's a very, very good side. James Slipper will co-captain the side next to Michael Hooper, assuming that he does get through the rest of the week okay. He is a bit of an injury dart, but they are backing him to recover. Next to James Slipper will be David Parecki and Alan Alatoa. No Alan Alatoa, Etzebeth rematch from last year, because Etzebeth is actually probably landing in New Zealand around now. The two locks, though, Nick Frost and Will Skelton, plenty of physicality. Not too many caps between them. I think 35 between the two. So not much more experience internationally than the Springbok pair, but much bigger, if we're being honest. Any lock combination with the Will Skelton is going to outweigh the opposite lock combination. And then Tom Hooper, the very exciting young flank, will get a debut next to his co-captain Michael Hooper, and then Rob Ballatini at the back of the scrum. It's a very good loose trio. In fact, I'm very excited to see how that loose trio does operate. Nick White next to Craig Cooper, a world-class halfback pairing. Nick White, a lot of people don't like him, but you can't doubt his class. Craig Cooper as well. We all know when he turns it up, he can change games. Marika Korobeti, number 11. Reece Hodge, Nick Katal, the two centers. Interesting to see Reece Hodge at inside center. You almost expect him to be at fullback simply because of the kicking battle that we were going to see. Tom Wright at fullback is going to have a lot to do there. And then Suliasi Vunivola, an interesting decision to play. And a lot of people sort of questioning that whether he had a good enough Super Rugby to warrant his inclusion. Eddie Jones says he could become one of the best wings in the world, but a big opportunity for him to prove his worth. Then off the bench, three more uncapped players. Jordan Ulesi, Matt Gibbon, Zane Nongo is the first of the uncapped players. Richie Arnold as well, the gigantic lock, will make his debut. Pete Samu, Tate McDermott, Samu Karevi, and then the young Carter Gordon will also make his debut should he come on off the bench. It's a very inexperienced bench. I think there's only 2 players with plus 30 caps in the likes of Pete Samu and Tate McDermott. And Samu Karevi. Apart from that, everybody else well below that 30 cap threshold. I think Tate McDermott, the only other one who actually has more than 20 caps. So it's a very inexperienced bench, and a bench at altitude is going to be very important. So I think for the Springboks, it's important for them to move this Australian side around, to probably try and pepper them under the high ball. I mean, it should be gorgeous conditions. It's been warm during the day, been cold in the mornings, yes, but very dry in this last week up here in the Highveld. So expect dry, warm conditions. It will get a bit colder as the sun does go down, but generally it should be the perfect sort of conditions to play some running ruggers. So it'll be interesting to see the sort of game plan that both these sides go with. Let me know what your score predictions are. As I said earlier, down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.